Hey everybody, this is Tim. I just wanted to talk quickly about my spring 2019 tomatoes. I started these a little bit less than 2 weeks ago, and some of them came up really, really well. Some are taking their sweet time. They're still coming up. About 1 to 2 every single day are coming up. It takes, on average, 7 to 8 days to start seeing some germination within the plants. So I'm not too worried about these because they're just starting to pop up now. Now for these two spots here and this spot here, most likely they're not going to come up, or they were planted too deep and they will come up a little bit later. But if I wanted to, I could throw a few more seeds in there, but I won't. I have enough plants of both for myself. I'll probably do about 500 or more plants. So I usually do one of these trays a week. Sometimes I'll do a couple. The reason why I do it is I stagger it so that it makes it easier for me to transplant up, because they're not going to go in the ground until March or April of next year. So what's nice about doing that is that cold weather comes in, and I'll have this like slow down when they get into the half-gallon bags. And it'll allow me to spend maybe an hour or 2 hours just working on one tray versus having to work on 6 or 7 trays all at the same time. So that's the reason why I do stagger it out a little bit. One other thing that you can see is the tomato plants are kind of leaning towards this direction. The reason why is because, well, it's shorter days, but it's just where the sunlight is. So the more sunlight I get the plants, where the sun is, it's where they're going to be trying to go towards. So what I'll do is every single day I'll just come out to wherever it's at, and if it starts to go in this direction or that direction, I'll just change the direction of the flat so that the plants go in the other, start to lean the other way. The reason why I do that is it helps build a strong plant. Plus, you really don't want them to kind of start hanging overlapping on top of each other anyways. You really want it to kind of grow straight up. One thing you can see about sun anyways is this one here is just a little bit too tall, too lanky. I mean, it's not really going to be a problem because I caught it soon enough. I think it was the marker that was in front of it that prevented it from getting sun. That's another reason why I plant just a couple of seeds in each one of these trays. It would make it instead of having to do a whole bunch of trays, like 6, 7, 8 trays like this, if I was to if I wanted to grow out a whole bunch of this particular variety, I could just use a few of these cells, grow them to a certain point, and then transplant them. The reason I don't is just in case timing-wise. It's just me who's going to be moving these things up. So what I don't want is I don't want these plants at such a young age to be competing for resources and then starting to grow too tall or too lanky. I just like to grow them a particular way. It's not that big of a deal. You can plant them deeper, but this is the way I like to do them. Right now, I don't need to feed them. When I start seeing their true seed leaves, when they get their full set on there, I'll probably start to do like a week diluted nutrient spray, or maybe put just a little bit of fertilizer within the soil mixture or soilless mixture. But you can see right now these are the true seed leaves. So this isn't what you would consider a tomato leaf from what you know. But you can start to see on this one right here, right in the middle of the seed or seed leaves, you'll see the small, tiny little leaf, and that's the first true seed leaf true leaf that's coming up. Other than that, this is as big as a tray that I'd like to do because there's just a lot of plants. It's 50 plants, but most of the trays have a smaller diameter, and you can plug in a whole bunch. This is just when it's just one person doing it. This is all I want to deal with. For anybody else, if you're doing a ton of plants and you've got people who can help, then it may be better to do the ones with more plugs and less space. This just gives me a little bit of extra time in between the move up into the next container. Other than that, keeping these tags is extremely important. I mean, it'll let you know what it is. I could put a tag for each one of these cells, but I'll do that a little bit later as I'm move these things up. For right now, this is just you just want to make sure that you have it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you didn't care or you want to figure out later on. But if you are going to sell or you are going to give some to people, it's good to know what the variety is, because it's hard to tell what type of plant it is unless it has some weird genetic thing. So other than that, that's it. I hope that was helpful.